Most football manager saves are rebuilds, but in this one, we're doing the opposite. We are setting out to destroy Man City by ruining their finances and getting them relegated from the Premier League. And we have to do all of this without getting fired. This is Destroying Man City, a football manager anti-save. And we are moving into season 3 of Destroying Man City. We have come off the back of a pretty solid season 2, kind of accomplishing everything that we needed to in the second season, doing well enough that we didn't get fired by doing well in cup competitions and doing good enough in the Prem, where we weren't going to get fired, but we didn't win any trophies. We also have built an aging squad with most of the players in the team now over 30 years old and on large, lucrative, and long contracts, as well as starting to mitigate the financial situation of the club. We're no longer a financially rich club. The financial status is just okay. So this is where we are moving into season 3. We've got a £240 million transfer budget to work with and some payroll to work with. So there's a lot of moves here where we can destroy the finances. And I think this season is going to be a big one for really deteriorating the club's finances. And I have a lot of ideas for season 3 for how I want to really begin to destroy this club. And the first and big one is we have 104 staff members at this club. Now, things that I cannot control in Football Manager. If we look at the finances, the transfer budget, you're only given so much transfer budget and you're only given so much payroll. But something that I have realized is staff salaries don't account for the payroll. We have 104 staff members that we could sign to a lot of money. Let's just take, for example, Carlos Vicens here. He's our set piece coach. He's on 7.25K per week. But if we start a hypothetical negotiation here, where we go for 5 years, we could offer him, our set piece coach, 200K per week. And we could add bonuses. We could add bonuses just for doing the minimum requirement. We can pay him £2 million just for us avoiding relegation and things like that. Rather than paying a random recruitment analyst 12.25K per week, why don't we just pay him 200K per week? So that's the plan, staff-wise. Of course, we're going to continue making this squad not good and making sure to continue overpay old people. And hopefully that'll allow us to capitalize on a pretty good season 2. But right now we're on the Club World Championship. I still need to play through the preseason. So I'm going to go to the beginning of season 3, the actual start of the Prem season, and I'll see you all there. All right, we are at the end of the transfer window in September. So we're a little bit later than we have been for previous episodes. We have had a good start to the season, unfortunately. We won the Club World Cup Championship. Not super surprised about that. This is fairly easy to win, I think, in Football Manager. And unfortunately, we have won our first 3 matches, and Erling Haaland continues to be amazing. But the good news is that next season, we will be releasing Erling Haaland because his contract expires next season, and he's way too good. We cannot keep him. But I gotta tell you guys, I have a really, really good feeling about this season. This is what our finances look like. We're still okay at the moment, but there's a lot of things to take into account here, looking at the financial screen. First, we are currently projected to fail financial fair play rules for both the Prem and the Champions League. So we are doing something right. The other thing is, we have £41 million in the bank balance. And now, you're probably thinking, dude, you had £5 million. Like you had 5 million in the red previously. Why is 41 million a good thing? Well, after we got that 5 million in the red, the club put up 700 million pounds. So our peak overall balance in the summer was 780 million pounds. And during the summer, we have managed to get 740 million off there. And that's just a couple of months. Imagine what we can do over the course of a whole season. So how have we gotten rid of a lot of that money? Well, the first step was, again, we had 104 staff members, and a lot of them now are on huge salaries. My assistant coach, who was on like 30K per week, we're now giving him £1 million per week. Our head of youth development, he's on £1 million per week. Our head performance analyst, 650K per week. Our set piece coach, after the influx of money, we were now able to offer him 775K per week. And we were able to do that for pretty much every coach. And moving to our performance analyst, he's on 650K per week. My head scout, general manager, £1 million per week. Technical director, $1 million. Chief scout, 650. Scouts, pretty much all 650. Recruitment analysts are all on 650. Head physio, he's on 775K. All our physios are on 775K. Same thing with our sports scientists. So we have huge amounts of money going to the per week base salary of all of our coaches and staff. And we have related bonuses that should be pretty easy to get. I mean, avoiding relegation, we're going to be giving like 104 staff £10.5 million. So in theory here, we should be able to really deteriorate the financial status of the club just off of our staff alone. And the nice thing with that is none of that goes into our payroll budget. So we're still able to overpay our players. We're spending £12.8 million per week on players, which is well over our payroll. And with that, we're spending our payroll on a lot more just mid players. I'm going to talk about signings first. We've got out £57 million worth of players. Some players who I didn't know, who I just kind of accepted bids for. But the big news is we have sold Ruben Dias. And Ruben Dias is 29 years old. He's still in his prime, and we've sold him for a mere £37 million. This was a great deal as far as kind of underselling a player, and we could reinvest that money into transfers. But Ruben Dias is a world-class defender, and given how good he is, it's good that we shipped him off. And that allowed us to sign a lot of players who are okay. First up, we signed Archie Brown from Fulham. He's so mid. He's 24 years old. He has no potential to grow into. We paid £27 million for him, and we're paying him to be an impact sub, £84,000 per week. And look at those bonuses. Avoiding relegation, just reaching fourth round of the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. We are spending money. I mean, just for us being okay, we're going to be giving him like £30 million just for being mid. We've also signed Dean Henderson. We've overpaid for Dean Henderson, £36 million. He's an average goalkeeper who we're going to be giving tons of bonuses to. We've also signed Shaquille Van Persie. I actually think he's a good wonder kid in the game, but he's never going to develop here. We're overpaying for a player who's never going to develop because we're never going to play him. And because of that, he won't develop, which is fine. I mean, I'm kind of sad that we're ruining his career, but we'll give him $10.25 million if we avoid relegation, which we're going to do. And we've got him for 5 years on 41.5K, £24 million. Then we've signed Joel Linton. Joel Linton for £78 million. We vastly overpaid for, again, a player who's just kind of okay and who we're going to be giving a lot of money to just for doing the bare minimum. And we have an optional contract extension. We're paying him $160K per week. And as long as he gets 5 goals or 5 goals and assists this season, he'll get another £10.25 million. Next up, we've signed João Pedro. I forgot why I sent him out on loan, but I think I promised him that I would send him out on loan, so I did that. But again, we're £75 million for a player who's not even going to play, and we're paying his salary during his loan. So we're just wasting more money. After that, I wanted to sign an English player, and James McAtee was that guy. Again, we've also sent him out on loan. Again, we're paying everything, so it's fine. He's going to get bonuses as long as we don't get relegated. And we just needed an English player. He's also homegrown at the club, so we'll probably use him more in the future. But again, he's very mid, and we've spent £23.5 million on a player who's just kind of going to be there. But finally, I want to talk about my favorite signing of this transfer window. and that is Mr. Emil Smith Rowe. We have signed him for a giant £80 million from Fulham. And the reason why I'm so happy about this signing is I do like Emil Smith Rowe, but in Football Manager, he's a player who's okay. He can play a lot of positions, but he's not world class or anything. He's okay. He's not physically phenomenal, not mentally phenomenal, not technically phenomenal. He plays for Fulham for a reason. But if we look at his career stats, we've got him 2 assists so far, and he's playing all right. And that is a good thing for us. And the reason for that is I have signed him to an enormous contract. We have signed him for first £875,000 per week, which is insane. And we've got him for 5 seasons with an optional 3-year contract extension. So in theory, he's 26 right now. He could get to 34 years old and be on 875 grand. Along with that, we've given him a nice loyalty bonus. We've maxed out appearance fees, goal bonuses, assist bonuses, international cap bonuses, maxed out the unused substitute fee. If we reach the bare minimum, he'll get 8.75 million for all of that. And then I actually want Emil Smith Rowe to do well, because if he scores 5 goals, he'll get 8.75 million. Another 5 goals, another. Assists, same thing. Combined goals and assists, same thing. We're just throwing money at Emil Smith Rowe. And if the club ever wants to sell him, he's going to get 50% of the sell-on fee percentage. I have absolutely changed the game, I think, with this Emil Smith Rowe signing. And I hope he just eats up our budget. And for that reason, I have switched to the 4-2-4, which is a meta formation as far as goals are concerned. And I am locking in Emil Smith Rowe on the wing here, because I want him to score goals, I want him to get assists, and I want us to just waste money. I have put pretty much all the money in Emil Smith Rowe's contract, and for that reason, I am locking him into our starting lineup for this season's simulation, because I just want us to throw money at him. And of course, within all that, we still continue to just have all of these crazy transfer clauses. For example, João Pedro, he's not even with us this season, but we're just going to be doing crazy transfer clauses. Also, every league game he plays, we'll pay 100K for it. 50% of his next transfer fee is going to go to Brighton. So we're just spending mass amounts of money on these players. Emil Smith Rowe, same thing. Actually, if we ever sell Emil Smith Rowe, 50% of the transfer fee is going to him, and 50% of the transfer fee is going to Fulham. So I believe if the club ever, for some reason, decided to sell Emil Smith Rowe, we would get no money from it. And looking at the squad composition, this save is a beautiful thing. Look at all of these old guys. We have so many old guys. I mean, even the players who signed, Joel Linton's old, Jared Bowen's old, all of these guys are so old. And the guys who aren't old are kind of mid. I mean, obviously, Phil Foden and Erling Haaland were here. But like Curtis Jones is okay, João Pedro's okay, Archie Brown is eh. Moving up, Chris Richards is okay, Jonathan David is okay, Mitoma is just okay, Henderson's okay, Bowen's okay, Joel Linton's okay. This is the kind of squad composition we're looking for. We have old guys, the best players in the club are old, and looking at the young guys, they're all kind of mid. I'll also add that I've signed a couple of players to new contracts. A big one is Phil Foden, because I think we can waste a lot of money with Phil Foden too. I know he's world class. But looking at his contract details, we've given him the Emil Smith Rowe treatment. So if Phil Foden does anything good this season, we're going to pay for it. And again, the thing with all those bonuses is we're kind of hiding expenditure from the club because none of that goes into the payroll. None of that goes, because it's not like base wage or appearance fees or things like that. All of those bonuses aren't in the payroll. So it's kind of like we're hiding expenditure from the club. So whatever the current projections are for what the club thinks we're going to spend, we should be vastly overspending that. And we've kind of already seen that because we've gone from £780 million in the budget to now about £41 million. And that should continue to go down over the course of the season. So overall, I think we're in a really good spot. As long as we continue to not get fired, if we can keep this to about a C, we should be in a good position here, because I think we're starting to get to the point now where we're really going to destroy the finances of the club. And I want to make sure we keep doing that. So we got to make sure we stay in the job because the longer we stay in, the more damage we can do. That all being said, that is what things look like at the beginning of the season. If we look at the Prem, we are top, so I guess we're doing really good and we should still stay in a job. But we're in September right now. I'm going to sim to the end of the season. Let's see how we did. Let's go. We have pulled out a season 3 masterclass. We are still in with the job. And we are in third. We've steadily just gone down every year. We were first season 1, second season 2, and now we finished third. We are Crystal Palace just made the Champions League. That is wild to see. But we are continuing to just get a little worse each year. This is exactly what we wanted. And I'm seeing here, we scored 103 goals this season. I hope a lot of them went to Emil Smith-Rowe and Phil Foden. But as always, we take a look at the schedule and see how we did. Wow, 7-3. We won 7-3 over Crystal Palace away from home. They made the Champions League. They had a red card in the 10th minute. But how did we do in the rest of the season? Got knocked out in the Carabao Cup third round. That's actually not good. We needed to get to the fourth round so that we could pay a lot of people. So that's unfortunate. We would have liked to get knocked out in the fourth round. Looking through a really mid start to the season, actually a lot of draws in here. So that would be and lost to Man United 5-1. So that's good. We're definitely not as good as we were in previous seasons. I like to see that. I think we did get out of the Champions League phase. We made the FA Cup 5th round, so that should have paid out a lot of bonuses. So that's good to see. Round of 16, we should get some bonuses from that too. We lost in the FA Cup quarterfinal. That is a good place to lose. But somehow we're still doing well in the Champions League. 5-5. That must have been crazy. But looking through, we made the Champions League final. We've made the Champions League final 3 years in a row. How not? And we lost again. Let's go. We didn't win any trophies this year. We have our first completely trophyless season as the Man City manager. Let's go to competitions. We won nothing. Let's go! We won nothing! This is the perfect season! And we still have a C rating. And we are bringing down the expectations of the club for next season. We have a C rating, and next season, challenge for the Champions League. But it's only qualify for the Champions League. Let's go! We're bringing down the board expectations. This club is slowly deteriorating. This is what we needed. Whoa! Whoa, this is the most beautiful financial. I didn't even realize this. This is the most beautiful financial page I've ever seen. Financial status in debt. Overall balance negative £1.4 billion. We have accomplished exactly what we wanted to accomplish this season. Let's look at the expenditure. So we spent an incredible 1.6 billion on bonuses, 500 million pounds on player salaries, transfer expenditure 300. Where are the staff salaries? Well, looking down, all of the debt is from staff salaries. We're 2 billion pounds in debt on staff salaries. We've done it. We're destroying Man City. We have absolutely cooked this season. This is the best destroying Man City season we've ever had. We won no trophies, and we've destroyed the financials of the club. And look at all the unhappy players. This is brilliant. All the players are unhappy. We love to see it. Looking at the general info here. Again, look at all the old players. There are so many old players in the squad. Some of them have retired too. Oh, this is brilliant. And look at the ability-wise. And Erling Haaland. 6/30/2026. He is going in less than a month. He's going to go somewhere in less than a month. And I won't have to worry about his being actually good ever again. I mean, without Haaland, like even if we get rid of Bernardo Silva too, our team is going to be so mid. Our team is going to be so average. What a lovely sight. And I mean, next season is going to be a huge season because we're in so much debt. If we can just keep this debt going, we're going to be solid. I also want to see, I mean, we got 103 goals. So how much did he got? 5 goals and 13 assists. Emil Smith Rowe, I need more from you, bud. I need more from you. I need you to take more money from us. I need this. Okay, next season, we got to make sure Emil Smith Rowe gets more than 5 goals and 13 assists. What about Phil Foden? You also had Phil Foden on a huge salary as well. What did he do? So looking again, his contract, huge bonuses and stuff there too. 4 goals and 11 assists. I almost wonder if I should have given it to Erling Haaland because he scores so many goals. Well, our two best players were Erling Haaland and Bernardo Silva. Erling Haaland scored 62 goals. Doku had a big season as well. But Erling Haaland scored 62 goals. I should have given him all that money. But the nice thing is we don't have to worry about him scoring 62 goals because you bet we're going to release Erling Haaland. I've also just realized we're currently spending 12 million pounds per week on salary. They've cut that down to 800 million pounds. And we have barely any transfer budget for next season. This is going to be season 4 is going to be super interesting. But speaking of season 4, that is all I've got for this episode. Season 3 was pretty incredible. We are really on our way to destroying the finances. We are absolutely in a wonderful position for ruining the squad composition. And Erling Haaland is gonna leave. And once Erling Haaland leaves, we should not be very good. Next season is gonna be a big one. I'm very excited to see what this looks like. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves. And I will see you all for season 4 of Destroying Man City. Bye!